As you can see from this diagram, the emission, CO2 emission from normal desalination plant is pretty high. So we need to have more effort to reduce CO2 emission from desalination plant. And one of the options that we have is the RO process. RO process, compared to MSF and MED, the CO2 generation from this plant is much lower than other options. So that's why the Global Clean Water Desalination Alliance, H2O-CO2, was launched in Paris during COP21 in December 2015. So how are we going to do this? Number one, there are two ways to decarbonize desalinations. Number one, switch to low carbon energy source, or we can improve energy efficiency of existing technology. However, the integration with renewable energy has some problems. I guess we can do integrating desalination plant with a power grid can provide stability and more reliability. The standalone renewable-driven desalination plant still remains relatively expensive. So we can improve existing technology to reduce life cycle of carbon footprint, including new configurations of RO plant or improved RO membranes, and also improved components, and also control of fouling. So improving sustainability. The sustainability is the terminology that we used a lot last 20 years. And normally, as a membrane expert, we try to improve the performance of membrane process, including higher water flux and higher water recovery, and also the water quality. In order to further improve the sustainability of current technology, we need to decrease energy consumption and environmental impact, and also membrane foulings. So basically, we like to using much less and also produce much more. That kind of concept is required for future seawater desalination plant. The next thing that I want to talk about is resilience. We need to improve resilience of the cities due to the climate change. For example, here, we have been developing desalination technology in terms of solve water shortage problems. However, the drought case, I don't think we are ready for future desalination technology. For example, in Australia, they experienced severe drought in early 2000 years, and so they built SWR plant all over the Australia. However, since 2009, the drought is over, so they don't really need SWR plant anymore, even though they built a lot of plant in Australia. That is a good example that we need to develop new concept of desalination plant which you can adopt or which can respond to water severe drought. Here's one example, mobile seawater desalination plant, which has been planned in Korea by MOIT. So I think there will be an R&D project regarding how to develop technology for mobile seawater desalination plant. We can build a desalination plant on the ship so that we can move this desalination plant where drought is severe. So this is one of the examples of how to improve resilience of cities for severe drought. Here's a summary of what we are doing for the futures. Number one, by adopting airflow membrane, we can have a dilution of seawater so that we can actually reduce energy consumptions. And we talked about PRO a lot. So PRO can generate energy from RO brine. And then RO brine, we can actually recover some precious metals or resources. We can use brine as some source of precious metals. And seawater desalination, the future seawater desalination, Even though technologically still we need to have more advancement, however, we can connect this one directly to renewable energy. And combining all this innovative technology, this is a picture of future seawater desalinations, which is H2O minus CO2. Last word, in the morning with Professor Kim, we went down to Dead Sea for the first time in my life, and then I put my finger into the Dead Sea, and then I tasted. Of course, it was very salty, and then even I tasted bitterness. However, at the same time, I tasted a lot of energy. Thank you very much.
Now I invite Professor Son for his thought about these topics. Yeah.
Even though that,
It's okay.
yeah, I prepared as a presentation first, and so I just to talk briefly about the project that is based on the Apple process. Actually, this is Jin Song, and I'm the director of the FRHC, and I'm a professor at the Korean University in Korea. FRHC stands for the FR Hybrid Desalination and Research Center, and I'm going to give a very brief introduction of the FRHC project. So, yeah. Before I start the presentation, as Professor Kim already mentioned, I give you a brief introduction of the summary of the Korea R&D program on desalination. Korea has been conducting the big R&D project on desalination since 2006, and one big the R&D project on desalination named the Sea Hero project started on 2006 and finished in 2014. And one big mega test bed with the capacity of 45,000 tons per day was built. And in the following years, several subsequent R&D projects started since 2006, and based on the further osmosis, membrane distillation, PRO, and advanced RO technologies. All these subsequent I've thought about that. I don't know why it happened. Subsequent R&D projects are based on mainly focused on the energy reduction. Okay, and so I'm sorry. You all know that the serial desalination requires a lot of the energies, and the lower energy required technology has drawn much attention nowadays. And the forward osmosis is an emerging technology, and we all know that there are numbers of the R&Ds for membranes and modules and the systems for the application of the Apple process. But almost all these the result, all the R&Ds are conducted under the condition of the lab scale experiment, and we think that it's high time to start up for the practical implementation of the Apple process. And this is quite familiar, the schematic diagram. And the key concept of the Apple hybrid system is quite simple. And the water, the high salinity water, so that the seawater pass through the Apple process and dilute the seawater through the Apple membranes, and comes through the outer membrane process, and the lower concentration of the diluted seawater can result in the lower operating pressure, and eventually it comes up with the lower cost and the energy reduction. And the FHC, the project started in December in 2014 and will be finished at the end of 2019. It is 5 years experience of the project. And what is that? It's, okay, the main object of this project is to get the the lower energy consumption less than the 2.5 kilowatt-hour per ton, and it is much greater than the 25% of the reduction of the energy consumption compared to the traditional auto process. I don't know why is that so fast. And the visible final product of the project will be the auto demonstration pilot plant with a capacity of 1,000 tons per day. And we will verify and evaluate the efficiency of the FO-auto hybrid systems from this demo pilot plant. Oh my gosh, sorry about that. Oops. Okay, and one simulation result shows that with the high salinity, the seawater has a much more beneficial for the application of the FO-auto hybrid systems. So this implies that the high salinity water, the area, the high salinity water with the high salinity water is the most the promising regions, areas for the application of the FO-auto hybrid systems. Okay, and so finally, the Korea has a vast interest in desalination, and we are doing a lot of the work on desalination since 2006, and we are expecting to exchange and share the information and the results of the studies with all of you. Thank you very much.
Can you go to the map in my presentation? The map. The first map. Yes. First, yeah, that one. Yeah, yes. Okay. Yeah, actually, we talked about, the technology, the RO system, PRO system, and all of this. What I would like to focus on here, for example, a country like Jordan, if we look, for example, to how is the water supplied now in this country, just to give you an idea. For example, here up north, we have surface water coming from Yarmouk River. So we have King Abdullah Canal receiving water from Yarmouk River between Syria and Jordan, and from some dams, actually we call it the Western dams, and part of it comes from Tiberias Lake as well. This water pumped to Amman city in a difference of elevation 1,200 meters. So you're talking about pumping a significant amount of water to supply part of Amman city, about between 25 to 30 million cubic meter per day. This amount comes from the surface water in King Abdullah Canal. And we pump that water to 1,200 meters. So we're talking about a significant portion of the cost of the water supply comes from the energy. So the energy consumes more than 30% of the cost of the water supply going to Amman city. This is my point here. We have heard several solutions, technology, advance in RO systems, and all this kind of things. But I think we need to focus, because desalination, if we accept it or not, it's going to be the future for most of the countries in our region. We have no option. We're facing climate change issues. Rainfall is decreasing with time. Demand significantly jumping and increasing. So to maintain the sustainable development, to maintain the development, economical situation, everything, we have to find sources. And we do not have groundwater, we do not have surface water. We only come up with the only alternatives facing is the desalination. So my point is, we have to focus on how to reduce the cost of energy as much as we can. If we manage and succeed in reducing the cost of energy, this means that we can expand the opportunity for many countries, especially middle-income countries, low-income countries, to use desalination as an alternative and as feasible solution for them to meet the increased demand in their countries. Now, technology focusing on some aspects, but I think we do not have one magic solution to reduce the energy. We have to start thinking about hybrid systems. Maybe we can and each country has its unique characteristics. For example, in our region, I think solar energy is a good option. So we have to investigate how much we can, for example, save or produce energy from the solar energy. If there is a country where the winds will be an option, let's investigate that option. If there is the difference in head, let's investigate that option. And we can aggregate these savings, even if it's small, like 5% here, 10% here, 20% here, and make it in a hybrid system to reduce the energy cost. Then I think we will succeed to expand the desalination option in our region, and we can help in solving many problems facing increase of demand and the water shortages in the region. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ford. You know, as I mentioned when I first started this session, the purpose of this session is introducing who we are, what we can do in seawater desalination. I think through this presentation and discussion, I think we showed what we can do. And we also very prepared for the future. We're doing a lot of research works to reduce energy consumption, like the Dr. Ford said. We try to reduce energy consumption down to 3.3 or 2.5 using different technologies and also PROs and different technologies. So I think we have shown what we can do, who we are. I think we accomplished our session's objectives. Before I leave, I didn't get the questions. If you have any questions, this is the time you can. Okay. Would you please give him microphones? Okay. Okay.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Philip Tilfet from Qatar, from Kahraman. I have two questions regarding the brine. Did we reach up to now to the zero discharge? This is the first question. The second for the Doosan. Nowadays, the arrow comparable, is MSF and MED. I think, is difference bloom than the before. So what is the challenge, from RO with difference for MED? Thanks.
So the first question is about zero liquid discharge of brines, okay? So I think Doosan is also developing technology for zero liquid discharge. And my research project, we also have doing some works on for zero liquid discharge. So I will tell you, I'll answer your question first, for first questions. The problem of brine is a high salinity level. So you have a two strategy. You can either dilute brines. The technology we're using for dilution is PRO, which is presented by Dr. Bawon, GS Construction. You can dilute, and simultaneously you can recover osmotic energy. The other option is you can concentrate further, and so that you can recover some minerals like lithiums, then those remaining brines, in our project, we use those remaining brines to make up bricks. So we try to mimic the zero liquid discharge. And I think the second question, Mr. Kang will answer the second questions.
Sure. Hi. Okay. Thank you very much for your question, sir. Well, in comparison with thermal desalination versus RO, I think it was a good question. Well, I think a lot of GCC countries are deviating from the traditional national use of their oil. So as you know, thermal desalination is mainly driven by oil consumption and steam. That is the also the waste product of the power plant. And I think what we have found in the recent years is most of the GCC countries are trying to reduce the amount of oil that they are consuming internally. So we see a lot of clients turning to RO as the next solution, and that is reflected in many of the national plans that we see. And the largest thermal desalination market, Saudi, even they are turning to RO as the next solution. So we are sad to see the decline of the thermal desalination market, but I think it's inevitable, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Professor Hong, would you like to add some comments for your questions?
Yes, I'd like to add one more thing to discussion regarding GLD. When you're talking about GLD, you have to think about the benefit that you are getting from GLD may be diminished by the two factors. Number one, you ended up adding a lot of new technology to have GLD. Then you ended up increasing CapEx a lot. And then at the same time, the energy consumption is going to increase a lot by having GLD systems. So you have to be really careful about having GLD for out-of-line management. And that's my opinion too.
Do you have any other questions? One more time, do you have any other questions? If you do, okay. Dr. Yun?
Thank you. I have a question to Professor Lee. You present the introduction of the smart water grid. Okay, so you said the objective of the smart water grid is the first one is the reducing the cost, and the second one is increasing the reliability of the safe water, right? So, in general, in order to increase the reliability of the safe water, you need more money. So, how can you reduce the cost, in the smart water grid,
Okay, that's a very good point. And in fact, I'm not saying that the smart water grid is the solution for everything. I mean, technically, it's not really possible to increase the efficiency as well as decrease the cost if we generalize this kind of situation. But what I'm saying is, by applying this kind of technology, we can maintain the similar efficiency and decrease the